Happy New Year to everyone, Switch Down Player. It has been a little bit a while since I made any streams. Yeah, the main reason why they didn't do streams last week, it's because of two particular reasons. One, I was in an app. That was on the Friday, and I was well, like actually, I wasn't more like a napping. Took a nap, but I also forgot it was actually Friday. Yeah, you're right. I forgot it was Friday. Not the first time. Um, and the second was Saturday. I was planning to actually do a stream on Saturday, but it didn't happen. It's just I just had a pretty bad headache that day, so I did say to Game Guy if he could do a stream on his channel, which he did, which he did. He did. Actually, it was more like his brother who actually Roy who did. Well, he did a playthrough of one of Mario games that he had. So yeah. So even though I didn't do the stream this particular last week, which well, it's um it's understandable. It is. And I do normally don't stream in the middle of the week or so, but it happens. And like I said before, I did stream last week since I totally forgot it was a Friday last week. Sometimes I do forget things like that. And the Saturday, well, I didn't stream because I was just, well, I didn't have a bad headache that day. So, yeah, it's my fault, everyone. So, nothing you have to be worrying about. Headaches happens quite often for me. So, I mean, not like every day or anything. It's just, it depends what happens. So, yeah, today, well, I thought maybe just invite some friends to just talk. Excuse me there. I wasn't originally planning to do some stream yesterday, maybe do a Geisha stream or something, but yeah, that didn't happen. Mainly because, well, since the game guy would have been at his dad's place, I believe, and his cousins slash sisters, yeah, heard me right, his parents actually, or his mom actually adopted of his two of his older cousins as his sisters now. So yeah, they would have been a little bit loud. So that would have been a little bit distraction for him, and also might have been a nuisance for us others who have been playing or something like that. So yeah, so it won't be any game show stream until like sometime in January, sometime next year. About that, what's going to happen in 2025? Hmm. Well, there's a big mystery because no one knows. Well, I mean, other from you know movies or TV shows that's having planned for being releasing new seasons or new movies. That's another thing. What movies will be released in 2025? Let's check. Um, there are in fact some movies that had already been list trailers or information, basic information that has been released. That's going to be um, that particular movie will be released for the next year or two. Like, let's see, what movies were in fact released late this year? I think from Moana 2. I would not be surprised it's gonna be Moana 3 on that one. And surprising enough, that Moana herself is now a demi-goddess. Like she's like Moana, uh, Maui. She like not she will be like now immortal. That's another thing. Um, what's so that about the movies that's gonna be released above next year? Um, well, right. Snow White is gonna be released early this next year. I have seen the trailer of the Snow White the movie. Okay, hear me out. Despite my not much feeling comfortable about the live action remakes of the Disney versions, I understand. I do appreciate that Disney focused on the live actions version for new younger generations. It is not a bad thing at all. And when I first saw the new version of Snow White in the new movie, or at least the trailer, even though, even though I was actually aware of Disney's Snow White live action version, is gonna, or the remake is gonna be would it be released sometime in the next few years? Because about I think maybe just 1 or 2 years ago, we get on the Wikipedia. You can actually see a list of past live action remakes, and even some future update ones that's were being going to be released, and some others that were had even been giving it an official release date. On top of that, the live action remake of Snow White, when I first saw the trailer of her with the actress, well, I mean, it kind of looks similar to the one from Snow White, so it's not like I'm being much difference. Maybe a little bit different from that Snow White's remake of the new for it's gonna be released the next year. It looked a bit different, but at the same time very similar to the original. So ain't much of a difference in that. But when I saw the dwarves, when I saw the seven dwarves design that released that game guy actually found that somehow and posted that in the Discord server, probably all my friends are in, I was shocked. Even though the fact that the seven dwarfs doesn't even look any remotely. I mean, the seven dwarfs of the remake that's going to be released sometime next year is Snow White. They didn't even look actual as much as the original. And on top of that, as Game Guys have pointed out, if Doopy is talking in the movie, it's will gonna be ruin many loyal fans of Disney. And here's one thing about the new Disney movie, and actually, this is not a spoiler from watching the movie. This actually happened in the trailer. The king, Snow White's father, the king, actually is appearing in the movie, even though he never was mentioned in the original or her mother. Well, technically, there is a deleted scene in the original from the 1937 where the mother only be mentioned sitting by a window making something on where she, by accident, pokes her finger by a needle. That is the reference of how Snow White actually turned out to be, where she got her those traits. And and not only that, the having the king appearing in the movie was a really much a nice touch. Even though he was never much mentioned in the original movie, but having Snow White's father appearing in the new movie, well, it's actually a nice touch. But the only thing that I really was shocked is that um not only that her mother maybe I don't know for a fact if her mother's gonna make a reference on any appearance or anything, but Snow White is referring to both her parents, which is a difference from the original. Because in the trailer, she actually mentioned when she's in this particular forest, is that both of her parents told her that this particular forest is magical. And the cottage where the seven dwarfs lives in, it doesn't even much any particular difference compared to the from the original. So I think actually kind of cool. But the major defect difference is that in the original, Snow White has been told by the dwarves always to be on high alert if the queen would somehow find out what she is and never leave the place alone. But in the new version, it's complete different opposite from that. The fact she leaves the cottage. She actually leaves the cottage and rides back in town trying to help her people. But other than that, she really is trying to literally, well, trying to rise up and like a rebellion, a riot. She's trying to get the people to rebel against the evil queen. That never even happened in the original. I am really surprised that happened, honestly. And another thing is of many different reactions of or many movies that was well other remakes. And yeah, I mean having the Snow White in a new movie is gonna ride back in town trying to start a rebellion against the queen to restore the harmony and peace. That was a big plot twist that I was not expecting to happen in the new movie. Yeah, actually, this happens because they showed that in a trailer. I'm surprised of how the new Snow White's gonna be like. I mean, and there were actually even a couple of months ago when this page on Wikipedia did mention a character named Jonathan. I was really surprised of who is Jonathan because when I went back in the original series, in the on the like when I read about the cast for the original movie, well, there were no mention of anyone mentioned the name Jonathan. So I wondered, who could be Jonathan being in the new Snow White movie? Could it be the prince? Possible. But the thing is, the original prince in the Snow White is named as Florian. Well, it is from some of the first sources that I can find. But the thing is, if Jonathan is not the prince, who is he? Well, I have suspicions. In the new movie, there is this young boy, probably like maybe around the same age as Snow White, where he might actually be Jonathan. And but there is another character in the movie also known as Maple. There is a Maple like Maple, Maple. I have no idea who that is. I mean, there's never even was a character in the original that was never even referred as Maple. And in fact, I can tell one thing: it's not one of the seven dwarfs. That's for certain of that. But who is Maple otherwise? Who knows? Maybe he's another person from town. But when I saw the magical mirror that the evil queen has, and when there's the face of the mirror inside, I can say right now, it looked almost identical as from the original. And almost and even look almost the same as from the Shrek. I mean, oh, mute guy or AKA game guys here. Um, um, oh, because your dad is late. Makes sense. I was just talking about the new Snow White movie that's gonna be released next year. Um, if you did see the magical mirror, to me, it looks very similar to one from the original, and it kind of even the face of the inside the mirror reminds me a little bit of that one from Shrek. Kind of did almost the same thing, but there are some parts of this new movie that's well. By the way, Happy New Year, game guy. Oh man, that's just But yeah, this the new movie. It's a bit strange Like, even like I mentioned, a couple of months ago, before the trailer was even released and even pictures of the characters, there were mention of like in the new cast. At the time, there was only Grumpy, the Queen, and Snow White's character had been given the actor or the actress, but it was two names that didn't match up at all with the original, Jonathan and Maple. And now that the trailer has been released, and as we can see this young boy that Snow White is trying to help, I may suspect that is Jonathan. But could that be the prince? Well, on Wikipedia's original page about this original movie, it only says the prince, not by any first name or anything. But on some of the sources, onward based on Disney, the prince name is Florian. So if Jonathan's gonna be the new name for the prince, I mean, in fact, I don't even know if Florian is the actual official name for the prince, or maybe it's just a fan made. Who knows? So if the prince Florian, the name Florian isn't the official name, so if they decide to make him given the name Jonathan, I don't think that's a problem at all. But there is another name, Maple. Months ago, when I first looked into this on Wikipedia, the page of it, I was curious. Who is even Maple? At least one thing, it's not the Seven Dwarfs. And as Game Guy actually posted that on this, like you said, like I said earlier, you posted that the screenshot, um, the screenshot of the Seven Dwarfs spawning. Like I said, I was shocked of how they even look. They don't even look like humans at all. Like they don't even look like real. To me, it looked like complete CGI, or at least CGI slash AI versions. It only Doc, the main, not the happy one, like the leader, he looked a bit similar to this the original. But as you game guys said that if Doopy is talking, they ruined the whole thing. So about this and the whole movie. Um, as far as I can say about this is that Snow White in the movie, or at least in the trailer, she has been, like in the original, was told by the dwarves not to leave her home, or at least a cottage. And the cottage in the new version compared to the old one looks similar. Maybe there are some changes, but the cottage looked very almost closer as the original. But Snow White was told not to leave the cottage at all. But in the new version, she does. She even takes a horse and rides back to town to, I don't know how even if it's called a rebellion. She's trying to rise up the people to fight against the evil queen, which that even happened in the original at all. But okay, I give Disney the credits to come up with some brand new ideas or something like that. Since the over thing is they decide to make the live action version just to focus on the next younger generation. And I do give them the credit for that. If they decide to add some new character in the movies, I mean that I don't see no problem with that. I mean if they decide to add new songs or new character in the movie, or maybe change on some of the designs of some of them, um like Snow White's iconic blue dress. Maybe they add some new color to it, maybe a bit gold. And I think okay, honestly, no problem with that. But there's some. Yeah, we wouldn't have not seen much about this new movie is gonna be like. I can see right now what my opinion is about it. It doesn't look good. And here's another plot twist. What if, like a big if, they decide to make a sequel? If that happens, I would not be much as against the whole idea since that didn't even happen as in the original. And honestly, though, I didn't think, or at least I don't think that Walt Disney did even had any plans for a sequel to that one. But if there will be, who knows? Even for like the 2019 Aladdin version, that did kind of ruin the whole possible sequel for one choice. As in the original, he decided the genie wanted to be traveling around the world freely. But the new version, he actually ended up as a complete human. And as a page on Wikipedia about the movie, it says possible sequel. And if that happens, well, they have to give some damn good explanation to that how that when Jafar returns. Because Genie in the sequel was still a genie, not human. So yeah, I mean it's kind of strange. And I had even seen the newest Mufasa movie, for example. It did change a lot of plot twists in that. I mean, in the new version, Mufasa was actually not even related to Scar, aka Taka, which is his real name. Um, because long before this movie was even made, or even before any, like, this was even way before even Game Guy was even born. This was like back in the late 90s when the first movie was even made. Before that was even before the second movie was even made. This was like just shortly after the first Lion King movie was made. Shortly afterwards, there was comic books, like actual books about the characters, new added ones, new like that. They had added to some mentioned some old kings, even like Simba's great 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 grandfather, or even and even they even mentioned the name of the ancestor that literally started the Prime Land monarch family. All that. So when now we have Mufasa live action and the sequel or prequel slash sequel is that how showing that neither that Mufasa or Scar aren't even blood related, and they weren't even living in Prime Land. They were living some different place, and that turned out Scar was betraying Mufasa, even in the early in this movie, and that Mufasa was the one who gave him the name Scar after he got the scar himself. And that's the thing. But here's what is really counterpart even this. In the Lion Guard series, Scar actually got his scar from a snake. And this was like several couple of years before even the Lion King uh, live actions were even made. Like this was only a couple of years ago. So here's the thing. Which version of this Lion King movie is to consider, or at least how Scar got his scar? Because in this, because yeah, in the Lion Guard, Scar was the one that actually also gave him the nickname Scar, and the fact that in the original, like in Lion Guard, he got his scar from a snake because that snake was even accompanied with, or at least a companion to another, to a different lion. But in the new live action, he actually got his scar from I don't even think from okay, I hadn't even seen the movie and I'm not even going to. But there was just that. He got a scar from that and it really convicts which version. Yeah. And here's the thing though. Now the fact that we have the for now this prequel slash sequel movie of Mufasa telling how the story how these brothers came to know and how he actually became um well and if it's a family that Mufasa was taken in since that family was considered if they actually had became the royal family of the Pride Land, Taka aka Scar would have been the rightful heir to that particular well the throne, not Mufasa. Because Mufasa would even given the that much would even Mufasa would even had the right to inherit the throne because he's not even blood related to Mufasa, the Scar. But the Scar thing part of that the Scar has, it really contradicts from how in the Lion Guard. There was a snake that gave him the God Scar, and now there's a different version. So which version of this whole thing is canon, right? It really contradicts of how many of these things are not because which one is this going to be the canon? The Lion Guard or the new live action movie, right? Which version is going to be the right one? Unless the live action movies aren't even considered canon at all. They're just like side pieces or something. It's just strange because none of this hasn't even been. I mean, it's just strange how back in the late 90s, after the first movie was even released, or even afterwards, they actually showed some past lions within the royal family. And when the sequel came out, where it says Kiara was born, when she met Kuvu, not our friend Kuvu, thank you very much. But that gave us some also things because it also during the development of Lion King 2, there were actually talks about that Scar was actually the biological father to Kuvu, but it would have been given the wrong idea to the viewers and the fans. Like, since Kuvu would have been Scar's biological son, and since Kiara is Simba's daughter, that would have been, well, cousins. And it would have given the wrong idea to the viewers, especially the younger ones. Like, oh, it's okay to marry your cousin. Well, ew, that's would have been a wrong idea. Trust me. But yeah, and now, now, which version of how Scar got the scar is canon and non-canon? That is a big question. I don't know since I hadn't even seen the movie and I'm not even planning to. But on top of that, what other movies had was that was released in 2024 that actually was pretty much I heard for that recently Sonic 3 movie. I can say right now it is actually the fourth movie is in the development, and it won't be released not next year or even 2026. It's gonna be released sometime in 2027. And there is another movie that I actually seen also from this year, and it's part of not a trilogy. It's well, it's not a trilogy anymore. That is the part of the reboot of the Planet of the Apes. As the reason the last one they made was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And it had turned out that the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has another the movie development and it's going to also be released in 2027. And so yeah, and so other from that, the Snow White movie is going to be released next year. What other movies are we expecting for 2025? Well, I can say a list of the American movies on based on Wikipedia. Let's see. There are wow, plenty of movies. Let's go see here. Okay, this is weird. Star Trek Section 31. That I didn't even know. Okay, okay. There is one movie based on a TV series of from Nickelodeon that even Game Guy hates, and even the spin-off with which is the Danger Force, Hatred the Danger movie. Seeing the trailer, okay, I can say a little for one thing. The special effects in the movie kick ass. But am I even going to watch the movie? Not a way. No way, no way. I never saw Danger Force. I saw only a handful of episodes when the originals Kid Danger or Henry Danger. That's it. I thought maybe it was a good show for something like that, but yeah, it wasn't really that much, in my opinion. What else movies that's gonna be released next year? There is one movie, but it's not American. There's a British. Um, it's yeah, it's literally is named 28 Years Later, and it's actually based on two other movies that was released many years earlier. Let's see here. Ah, here we go. I actually seen both those two earlier movies. The one that was before, um, 28 days later was released in 2002, and the second, 28 weeks later, was released in 2007. I can say right now, it's not even a good movie at all. It's a zombie movie, and it's not a movie that even Game Guy might even want to see. One reason: blood, a lot of blood. I can say in the first one, they actually gave the origin story how this the virus that caused this zombie pandemic in the first place. It was a virus called Rage. Very original name for that. And yeah, it. Let's say there was some chimpanzee that was in cages, and there was this organization like animal rights activist group that's trying to release those animals from cages. They tried to be warned, but yeah, let's say those chimpanzees they were violent, really violent. I'm not going to much detail exactly since after all there have been many years I saw that movie. They attacked the people, and this virus was only in UK. So yeah, the 28 years later, even though there were actually since the second was released in 2007, and it's like almost 10 years since the movie was even made, the new one. I can say now it's there were even some talks about sometime after the movie was released. Well, the second one was afterwards. There were talks about the third one, but it didn't happen for many years. Now we finally have it. I've seen the trailer, and yeah, not for me. Thank you, but no thanks. I'm not really much fan of. I'm not even much a fan of zombie movies, honestly. Seen many, yeah, not good. though is the most weirdest zombie movie. It's called Warm Bodies. Yeah, it's not like a horror movie, more like teenage movie romance kind of. It's like a Romeo and Juliet type thing. Since the male zombie in the character in the story, he's literally named R, and the woman is not named Juliet. So you know. But other movies that's gonna be released in America by next year. Let's go see here. Den of Pirates. No, Den of the Thieves. Not really. I have no idea what that is. Uh, Universe Pictures slash DreamWorks Animation is gonna work on something called Dogman. Yeah, it's not a horror movie. It's just I've seen trailer for that one. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a spin-off from Captain Underpants. I maybe it's not that movie though. Too bit weird. What else? Captain America, Brave New World. Yeah, never. That's an adventure movie. Thanks, but no thanks. I haven't even seen none of those. What else? The Cleaner, which is a British. Nope. Last Breath. Survival thriller movie. No thanks. The Day Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Seriously? Another one? No, what? What? This is weird. Okay. It says a 2024 American animated, but it's said to be released next year. Yeah, that's weird. Legend of Oshi. Does it ring a bell? Mickey 17. Or Mikey. Not a Disney movie or Mickey Mouse reference. So any people would know. What else? Well, there's a lot of movies. Um, okay, list one movie that even Game Guy may have even heard. Remember the Minecraft movie? Yeah, it's being released next year. I'm not even gonna see that movie that much. Uh, the King of Kings. That's an American Christian movie. Like, yeah. Apparently, it's about something like that. Sinners, another movie. Horror. Thanks. Excuse me, not that. Here's another one. The Ritual. American horror movie. I hadn't even heard of that one. The Accountant. No thanks. Here's another one. Hell of a Summer. That's a very original name. Thunderbolts. Nope. Lilo Stitch is said to be released next year. That I remember. But there is another one. Karate Kid Legends. Okay, it's Jackie Chan who is the part of the first one that they made, the one of the first new ones. It's not a presents that it doesn't seem he's not in that one, and I don't think I'm even gonna watch that one. Let's go see here. What else? The Life of Chuck. Don't know. Let's go see here. Lilo and Stitch. Just in case, let's see what's happened. Let's go see here. Okay, here's one character from the Lilo and Stitch movie. His name is David Kavena. It's a character name. He's a native Hawaiian. college student, surfer, who is kind to Nani. I do believe that is the guy who actually is, you know, I think is it? I believe if you remember the original series, Game Guy, if you remember that the guy who is sometimes interacts with Nani, I believe that that is the guy who is David. But here's the thing: the original actor actually was fired because shortly due to prior usage of racial slur. So that is a shocking. Which okay, I was actually aware of that part since like months now, since this page has been released. Been well, let's see here. Uh, Not really much difference. Let's see what else. Oh, this one I hadn't even seen the original, but this is actually a science fiction horror movie, Megan. It's about an android that was well, I mean, she looked an android, but I don't know. Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, I actually knew about that one and seen the trailer as well. Superman, that's gonna be released in July next year. Let's see. I know what you did the last summer. Okay, I actually saw the very first two original. I know what you did last summer. This was made back. I believe it was back in the 90s or until like early 2000s. Believe me, they weren't even that good at all. And now there's gonna be a new one, like an untitled. Um, there is another movie, July 2025, that's gonna be released. The Smurfs. They're actually making another movie of the Smurfs. So yep, that's just peachy peachy. What else? The Naked Gun. Okay, I heard about the original movies back in the many years ago. I never saw any of those. The Fantastic Four, first steps. No, I don't know. The Bad Guys 2. I think they actually made the first one not that long ago, but 1 or 2 years ago, something like that. This is basically a world of anthropomorphic animals that look humanoid. Even humans exist in this particular world. So it has nothing to do with Zootopia 2 or anything or that particular world. Let's go see here. What else? Okay, this is here's one movie. It literally has connection to okay, the Smurfs original series, the game guy. I mean the very original. They were back in the late 80s or like that, very cartoon style. It was way better from the now the CGI version. I can tell that much. Way much difference. That was even before your time. And if I remember, it was back in the mid 80s or like that, so that was even before I was born. And it takes me time. Um, but the one movie I was referring to that was had connection to a previous others movies, the Conjuring, The Last Rites, which basically had a very direct connection to Annabelle movies. So yeah, it's gonna be another one. There is another one entitled Downtown Abbey, which is based on a British TV series. Ever saw it? Him, sports horror movie. I have no idea what it is. Are you serious? Another one? My gosh. Game guy, have you ever heard of an American horror movie series called Saw? apparently that's gonna be it also for next year, and it's gonna be like Saw 21 in a total number. Yeah, believe me, that is a movie franchise I never have seen, and for a good damn reason. It's pretty. Yeah, it's I only seen from like uh parody scary movies paradise the parody where this was literally from the actual movie though from Saw movie they were having it looks like a um it looks like a kind of a cage they actually they're wearing some kind of thing and each piece had spikes to it and if I remember if you don't manage to solve this and get out of it first it later will snap upwards the pieces will snap two words against each other and well let's say your head would be like a crack open like a coconut in that particular matter. What other for the movies that's gonna be released? Roofman, a crime drama movie. Huh, I have no idea what that is. Tron airs. Okay. I've seen only the first movie of Tron, but that was many years ago. Never saw the sequel. Mortal Kombat 2. Not really. Are you serious? Another Predator movie? Yeah, if you remember the Aliens versus Predator, that humanoid Predator movie character for Aliens, yeah, they have apparently another movie up for next year. Boy, but they never get rid of those. There's a movie called David. I have no idea what that is, but since I can't see anything, Zootopia 2 is set to be released sometime in November next year. Okay, fireworks going off right now, which been happening for the past few days, literally. Um, Five Nights at Freddy 2 is gonna be released sometimes in December next year. Not shocking that. Um, Avatar Fire and Ash. Yeah, it is not the Avatar Last Airbender, so you know. It's actually based on those tall blue aliens. I saw the first two ones. I'm curious to see what this next one's gonna be. Belize edits in the comments. I just quit my job. Boss was so toxic to me. Damn, really, dude? That's terrible. I mean, if you really want to join in this stream, you're always welcome. What other movies that's gonna be released? 100 Acre Christmas. Okay, that's based off Winnie Pooh. So not having a genius of to figure that out. Marty Supreme. Not really. Okay, okay. There's actually even another movie that's also being released next year. Get this SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants. Are you serious? Another SpongeBob movie? Hey, mm, yeah, I not even want to watch that one, honestly. So I, so I just launch a flaming hot pan at him. You. Whoa, that's no good, dude. That's not good. Oh man. Okay, movies for Okay, next year, let's see what's going to happen for, no, actually for 2026. Let's see here. Scream 7. Okay. Okay, this one is really surprising. Turns out they actually are doing a reboot of The Exorcist for 2026. I was like, what the? Oh, yeah, that's the thing. But here's one movie that's also, uh, well, game guy, you might get a, you might get a cake on this one. 2026 is gonna be another movie of what is literally titled Aang the Last Airbender. The Airbender. I do believe I know which one that is. Yep, yep, exactly which one I thought it was gonna be. This one is taking place years after. The film will follow the series' main cast into their young adult years. Um, okay, Eric Nam's gonna play for Aang, Dion Kwan for Toph, Jessica Madden for Katara, Roman Saragosa for Sokka. They even had even the voice actor for literally the main villain in the new Avatar movie. Uh, his name is Dave Bautista. He's a he's an actor, but also a retired professional wrestler. Wow, okay. But yeah, this movie of the new Avatar, I actually already knew about it. When I read the title, I was like, wait. So yeah, this is actually this movie is has no. This is not like a. This is not a CGI. Sorry, it's not gonna be a live action movie at all. It's gonna be like the more traditional, except from what I remember, what I read about this, it's gonna be like the original series, the same style, cartoon style, but only plot twist. It's gonna be CGI stylish in what they're bending. I don't know how that's gonna work out, honestly, but they were actually, from what I remember, Aang and the rest of Team Avatar will actually be in their early to mid 20s. As the before the end of the series of The Last Airbender, Katara was the well, she was 14, Aang was 12. Technically, biologically, he was 12, but chronically, he was 112. So, um, but yeah, so this movie is going to take place only some years after the 100-Year War. So, but here's the thing: they actually had released several comics throughout before even after the series ended until now. How like where Soko Zuko actually encountered his actually went on a mission on a journey to find his mother, which he managed to do, and was learning he has a young half sister. So I may wonder if that's going to happen. And I also wondered one other thing: is it really possible, like really possible, that Boomy, not the king, but Aang Sekatara's son, and perhaps even Kaya might even be also in the movie? Because I don't know. Wait, let's see here. What year was Kaya Avatar born? I know for a fact it was way after the movie that. Really? I don't think they actually mentioned it in here. Did they? No, they didn't. Let's go see here. I know for a fact the Booby do have, well, his Tenzin has his birth year released. God dang it. Nope. Boomy does not. But Tenzin I do know. I think it is. Yep. So I believe that the new series might include some. I believe at least that if it's possible, the kids for of the Team Avatar, like Tenzin, Boomy, Kaya, perhaps even I don't know, maybe Sujin and Lin, Top's two daughters, and yeah, it's just. But there is always really big question: who is the mother or the queen, or is the Fire Lord's wife, like Zuko's wife in the series? Since he after all has a daughter, which is named Asumi, and yeah, no one knows. And while Game Guy, the movie of the Avatar actually have been it's gonna be had been really much in the progress for months now, from what I heard. So I'm looking forward to see how this new next movie of the Avatar is gonna be in 2026. So yeah, another thing for we know what's gonna happen to also being released in 2025, second season of the Avatar on Netflix. And I know for a fact that they are in fact introducing Toph in the series. Plot twist: she isn't blind. Yeah, they decided to not making her blind in the new version of Avatar. But I was like, what the freaking hell? That is the plot twist. She is a very iconic. I mean, her blindness. Okay, I'm not joking about people being blind like that, but she is a very iconic person, character in the whole franchise, along with Soka, because Todd's blind jokes they're actually iconic and they're really hilarious. But now they're planning to just decide making Toph in the new Netflix Avatar series not even blind anymore. I mean, that's just crazy and also stupid. I have no idea how the fans were even going to react to this. Seriously, it's a huge plot twist. Even though I didn't much like the first season, but yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen in this next season. I'm just gonna take a look on it, but that's it. What other movies are gonna be released in 2026? If I remember right, The Mandalorian Grogu movie is gonna be released in 2026 or 2027. I believe it is. Hopefully, that's gonna be a good one. But there is one movie that was gonna be released in 2026, which is the next Star Wars movie, with which Rey Skywalker is a main character. But they haven't even released officially the title to the movie. Only the movie set place 15 years after the episode 9. And it's the only thing I know of is that she's building the new Jedi Order, but there are some evil forces that's trying to stop her. That's the only information that's literally available online. There hasn't even been any more information about it. But the whole thing, that the whole movie could eventually, possibly be canceled. It's not like the first time that there are movies they're planning out for to do, and eventually just canceled. I can give you one example. This sci-fi series called Stargate. They were actually two movies. Stargate Atlantis were planning to have one movie. Stargate SG-1 had planned to have a movie. Here's the thing. Both movies had their final scripts finished. But before the movies even made, they were put on the shelf indefinitely. Like, despite the printed script had even been made for those two movies, those movies would never been happening. It's crazy how all that thing happened, right? And we have this person here. He has been here before, I think. Yep, it is. So yeah, there's gonna be a crazy next year and for next couple of years. Oh boy. What other movies that's gonna be released in the 2026? Uh Street Fighter. Okay, Super Mario Bros. Movie Part 2. No, I'll say not Part 2, but the second movie is gonna be released 2026 in April 3. The Mummy. I really don't hope there's gonna be another reboot of that one. If that is, I know that I wanna know. Adventures Doomsday. Okay. Yep, I'm not gonna watch that one. In fact, I hadn't even watched any of the adventure movies, and not going to. Not that much a fan of those. And actually, game I have noticed that they've been talking there in a speaking bubble. What other movies? Okay, it turns out 2026, Grogu and the Mandalorian movie is gonna be released. Toy Story 5 is also said to be released in June 2026. Let's see here. One untitled Spider-Man No Way Home sequel. So apparently that movie has a sequel that's being released, but no official title. Moana, the live action, being set to be released in 2026. Oh, July 1st, 2026, Shrek 5. And if anyone even asks what's going to be about that movie, I already know. I already know. I think at least that's going to be like. Let's see, hopefully it is. Come on. Yeah, here we go. Wait, what? Okay, apparently it's not what I expected. From what I understand, this was like more than a year ago when I literally found out about the movie's gonna be released or even made. They were saying that the movie Shrek 5 was gonna be about when Shrek moved to the swamp. So neither Donkey or Fiona will not even be part of the movie. But it turns out they will be. So yeah, that's gonna be surprising. What more? Judy. I don't know what that is. The Hunger Games Sunrise on repeating. Huh. I haven't seen any of those movies. Untitled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem sequel. Okay, that's it. Jumanji, the one that game where Robin Williams were part of the first one. Now they have Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and even Jack Black in it. Yeah, this apparently is going to be another sequel to that one. And honestly, though, I hadn't even seen none of those ones. The one, at least Well, I mean, Jack Black is cool actor. He's one of the best actors there is. But I hadn't even seen Jumanji when were either him or Dwayne Johnson in them, since it just no, it wasn't really about the same. In fact, I only saw one of those movies. That was the very first. What the? Okay. um. Okay. Game guy. You remember there is a movie. Give you a hint. Mention of characters. This is animals. Um. Also, humans live in this world, and this movie has it's part of franchise. Has a number of movies. I believe in wait, no, wait. Come on. Dang it. Not what I was looking for. Okay, here we go. Um, in the third movie, it's gonna be that's about one of the movies they have dinosaurs happening, and one of the characters is iconically, and well, he is he's the only one that actually has modern living descendants as an animal, which is sloth. Do you know which one it is? If was one character is a sloth, and there's a bunch of animals, hang out. I say six. It's gonna be a sixth movie on this one as well. 2026. It's set to be released December 18, 2026. I had actually heard of about some rumors about the another sequel of that movie or talks about it, but apparently it's official. And what happened in 2025 movies? I only knew at least a few. Let's see here. Okay, for January and March, there's not much movies there except one untitled Godzilla X Kong movie. There's only one that's called Untitled Pixar movie or film. I have no what it is since Adventures Secret Wars Minions Free. It's gonna be released in June that particular year. Bad Fairies. I have no what that is. Let's see. Batman Part 2. Um, yeah, I have no idea. Frozen 3 is gonna be released in November 24. Um, only one untitled Star Wars film is gonna be released in 2027. Well, not much a plot twist. I'll leave you that one. In fact, they actually have one, two, four, five, six. I think about I think it's between 8 or 10 more movies of Star Wars. Uh, well, it's going to be released in next several years. All of the movies had actually been untitled, so there's no like official titles of any of them. And I can say right now, it's not J.J. Abrams who made the first episode 7 to 9. It's not making all of those. There are some of them actually have different director. Okay, for 2028. So any let's go see here. One Marvel's movie, one another Marvel movie, and the third. That's it. Well, technically, it's gonna be wait a minute. Wait a minute. The fourth is gonna be 2003. That's gonna be late 2027. Yep. Let's see sequels. And the fourth also, apparently both the third and the fourth movie of the Frozen are in fact in development. The fourth, if I remember, is going to be released sometime in 2029, 28, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be in, how see that's going to be like. The first one was actually okay though, but you see, the second, yeah, I wasn't really sure exactly what it's going to be. There are a lot of movies that's going to be released this year and the next couple of years. But I'm surprised there's no even other Terminator movie. Huh. Man. Well, I mean, Game Guy, we don't know for a fact it's going to be a 6 or 7 or 10 of those two movies. Might be even more than that, or, might even be just a simple 1 or 2. And there were maybe even some, as I mentioned before, Zootopia 2 will also be will be released soon. And since they actually released the first trailer to that one not that long ago, but just a couple of months ago, I believe. I think maybe an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. Any particular reason? Are you going somewhere? All right. Yeah, I hadn't even much planned for myself since it's about 10 p.m. for me. And if I remember, Windows Logo Fan 1987 HD is from Scotland, which, if I remember, if that's correct, that would be for him or her. I don't know if that's a male or female person, since hard to say. That would be 9 p.m. actually, since I remember that Lord Asidigus is from Scotland, and I always remember that England is always 1 hour behind me, and Flying Goddess, which is about 6 hours behind me, always. Um, but yeah, I think probably like 2 hours or something like that would be good enough. And I really don't have any plans for the rest of the evening. Like, other than going downstairs around midnight, just make a toast for my parents. I mean, that's just pretty much it. And for fact, for the past few days, I had not even done any love stories on my channel or computer. Since I owe uh, my annual winter break for a really good reason for that. I mean, just for the past, only when it was only like a few days before Christmas, I worked my butt off in making off stores. I mean, there wasn't even 15 stores that I put it was 16. I can't wrong with that one. Well, actually, one of the stores was a Christmas gift to my own. Um, that I can say though, some of the stores that I posted were the ones that I did posted wasn't the original on the list that one I actually had already made. Since
All right, I'm here, and I'm now talking. Hooray!
but like I said, those stores I was originally planning to making those stores about sometime started working on them as late November. But that didn't even happen because due to the fact that I was, well, I was in the stage of lack of inspiration. Like I didn't know what to put in the stores, so I put it pretty much to the side. And even though I had several weeks left up until I could do it, so I managed to that. But I literally put, I really, but I really,
Oh, okay, just make it as loud as you can. Sure.
I literally worked my ass, my butt off in making those stores. But the thing is, the stories that's on the list, or those are one posted, they were actually not even the original, all of them. Um, Luckily for one thing, I have a flash drive that literally has over a dozen stories that had already been made like weeks ago or even months ago that just been waited to be uploaded. And since I had less than a week left of making stories, and like all stories was originally made to be text and music. So I had like less than a week, and I had also work. But even though there was only for a few hours, and I really had to be put my ass off, to that. If I did, boy, I have probably I would have been like a burnout on that one, which has happened before, and trust me, it's not good. So a few of them actually end up in as audio, and trust me, I if I made all those 16 stories as audio, I probably lost my voice by that point. As the only personal record of making audio stories for just one day is 10, and that is not happening ever again. Believe me, not worth it. So since I had already some stories that always made months ago, so I took some of them in the list, and I managed to pull it off before that. That was a good thing too. I'm like, otherwise it would have been pain in the butt. So yeah, so I hadn't even done any stores ever since before Christmas.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I mean, those stores that I have been posted, I will, even though I will still be posting stories on my channel, but like I said, those stories, but those stories was made months ago, so those stories have had to be made. All I have to do is just go to my flash drive, and I also have a list of stories that's gonna be posted on my channel uh, in that particular date. So I just go into the list, looking, okay, that is the story that's going to be uploaded, and I do go to my smart flash drive, pick up the story, upload it. That's it. But for the past few days, ever since Christmas, there is only one thing I've been mainly been focused on, and that is making a new quiz. So far, let's see how many quizzes I have done so far. It's not just one or two. Let's go see here. Wait, what? Okay, why is that number not what it's supposed to be? Not any movie quiz, but I have done a few history quiz. Let's see here. One world history, one Mexican history, one French history, Finland history. So that is those. What else? Okay, let's see. Actually made one other space quiz. What else? I'm currently working on another one that's about Disney's Gummy Bears, which has even though I already had one, but I just like I'm making another one just in case. I am just so bored. Oh, right. I also made one Star Wars Legend quiz and one Star Wars Canon quiz. So that is about those. So it's gonna be probably a few more for next few days. So yeah, that's just it. I thought maybe do another history quiz. At least I thought maybe making a history quiz based on each different of the 50 states. Like only questions that's going to be only involving that particular state at a time. Let's say if I want to focus on New York, it's going to only be about New York. If I thought about Louisiana, only about that. Or if it's going to be Hawaii, that also going to be Hawaii. If or where the from game guy is from, that also would have been part of that. But yeah, I hadn't even done that though at the moment since just a thought. But currently, I'm just working on a Disney Gummy Bears quiz, and it's still a work in progress. About 24 question on that one, so yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I was originally planning to do another game show stream yesterday, but since Game Guy was probably have his sister slash cousins in the background, so and he was gonna be at his dad's place or with his mom, so that didn't happen. So yeah, so the next game show stream might be boy, let's see here, not in probably sometime in early January. I don't know for exactly when though, but uh, as for topic, since Taylor picked one that he did win was Star Trek. I do have one Star Trek quiz already, so good thing. So that might be that. If anyone asks, are you going to make any more cryptic quiz? Answer is no. Not for the time being. After all, I have 34 quizzes already, all just based on cryptids. Yeah. And total those questions, just only those alone, believe me, it's it's about based on those plus that's 246. That would make it well, total of 3,000 questions. That's odd. Oh, how about I actually put all those questions in one document and do that as a one stream? Would you be up for that, game guy?
Huh?
Would you be up for it if I put all the questions about cryptids in one document and do that as one long stream?
How many is it?
I mean, well, since I have 34 each, that's total 81 questions plus the one. Wait, just case. Man, come on, where are you? Come on, where are you? Where are you? Just be clear on that last one. If it's total complete yet. Yep, it's complete. And I do have one that was supposed to be for Halloween, but yep, that didn't happen. Something else happened that day, and that one is 128. So let's see. That makes it. Oh wait, wait, what? Really? Was it just 128? I thought it was more. Come on. This computer is a bit slow sometimes. Let's see. Okay. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Really, computer? Really? Yep. That makes it total of 2,884 questions. So would you have been up for if I did 2,884 questions about cryptids in one stream?
Jesus, no. Absolutely not. That we'd be here for 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much.
If we did that shit.
Yeah. At first thought maybe I was like the number was 3,000, but nope, not even close. And I'm not even going to
April
make
Fool's Day
any.
stream.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to make any more cryptic quiz for a while now, since, like I said, I have 34 that's complete full, and one that's it's 128 questions. So yeah, it's like nearly 3,000.
Exactly, Malachite. I'd rather shoot myself.
Don't worry. The only ones that if I would make a long one, about like 200 at max. Well, maybe 220, it depends. But 3,000, not even remotely. Um, but like I said, I have done a few quizzes already. Um, updated someone, not have even. There are a few that. Excuse me. But there are a few I hadn't even worked on yet. They are, in fact, let's go see here. One, two, three, four, five quizzes that I'm planning to do. The thing is, even if you manage to somehow, this is something problem is that you can't actually be finding this in your home country because this is actually are in fact TV shows. But the thing is, they're Swedish TV shows, and they're not even running anymore. They're like back in the late 1990s and early 2000s. They were never broadcasted outside of Sweden. Is this the real? Yep, I've checked. Happy New Year, Mr. Blue.
Same here. Yeah. Sorry if I haven't been much of a bother doing a Family Feud. I've been associating myself with a few new servers that I recently joined. One is called the Production House, and the other one is called GSE Studios. And I've been associating myself with actually playing game shows in those streams, uh, in those servers. Actually, more likely.
Hmm.
I mean, this server, the GSE Studios, in the production house. As far as I know, they do Millionaire, like UK's version of Millionaire. Um, GSE Studios, you can play uh regular game shows like Weakest Link, Match Game, Price is Right, um, Wheel of Fortune, Russian Roulette, Greed, and yeah, let's say on the 29th, I got to play three, four games for a season finale in because GSC was doing a finale, um money amount winners like finale type thing, and the final four games shows we were going to play were Price is Right, Greed, uh, Wheel of Fortune, and Deal or No Deal. And let's just say I finally got chosen as a contestant on Price is Right, and the first game I get to play is Card Game, the card game for a GMC pickup truck, and I had to be within $3,000 to win it, and if I was to win a million, I had to be within $300 of the actual retail price. And let's just say none of it happened because the truck was over 98,000, and people were telling me to stop around 95,000 regular, like 95,100, and there was more beyond that.
Hmm. All right.
And then in the second wheel spin, which I was a part of, I spun a 90, and then someone else had to spin a 95.
Hmm. Well, that's something though.
Oh yeah. And then with Greed, we had two games that were going to go for 4 million, a chance to win $4 million on the actual team. And let's just say I was part of both teams. Um, first one, the position I was in position number 4. One of the four that was doing the 25 to $100,000 questions, those ones. And I actually got to see the $200,000 question on that game. And then the next game, when I got position number 1, answering the $100,000 question, let's just say after that, someone challenged me to the Terminator for $10,000, taking my money, and I didn't get to do the $200,000 question. And I was at the bottom of the money bracket when this happened.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'm thinking to myself, okay, why would you challenge me when I'm at the bottom of the number bracket and not challenge anyone who's at a higher level, like slow them down? I mean, you kind of see my point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't even take part of Deal or No Deal because I needed to cool off from that. But we both of us ended up losing everything at the $200,000 question. And um, but I got to take part in the Deal or No Deal finale as a model. And the twist to this was if we guessed the correct amount that was on the board and what was in our case, we were given $100,000. And I was on case 6, and let's just say I took a guess of having 50,000. No, I had three quarter or 25,000. I had three quarters of a million in the case I was holding.
Hmm.
But it was worth a guess. Anyways, it was truly worth a guess. Mm.
Oh boy. So, any plans for New Year's?
Well, I got sparkling non-alcoholic red grape uh sparkling juice stuff. Um and I was going to suggest if we were up for millionaire, the reason I was going to think this as a finale. The two quizzes I hadn't gotten to show you and Game Guy yet, and then I was going to let you and Game Guy pick one quiz to do entirely to yourselves. Like one quiz done by you, one quiz done by him as a finale, and it could be a ridiculous one or a regular one. You'll get your choice.
Hmm. I mean,
That was my idea as a finale. Okay.
I mean, I would probably up be for to do maybe one or two. Depends also. That mostly depend on the time of if we're closer to like
Well,
midnight from my end.
it is. Well, it will be. It would be two since two quizzes since that's the number of quizzes I hadn't gotten to show you.
All right. I mean, you can always probably do one of those.
Hmm.
One of them soon enough, anyways.
Oh, if I may, and I can show you this. I ended up getting a Mars god dragon.
All right. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, I wanted to show you. Um, this I'm gonna wait till it's been brought up. I also got Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, the PS2 game, um, for Christmas, and then I had to exchange a Super Trucker racing game for a wrestling game because the the trucker racing game, the bottom side of the disc was blue, and my uncle's PS2 does not read blue discs
Hmm.
whatsoever.
Get this done. If I'm sounds well, I'm interested. It's just I'm just checking some of the last things. I did find that I have some storage on the flash drive, and I wasn't sure if I have remade them or not. But I'm just luckily it's only a couple of those stores. But we can probably do the um some Super Millionaire shortly, since I thought maybe just end the stream anyways soon.
Maybe. Um. Also, I have a grave lurker dragon. And he is really ugly looking.
Like Cody.
Well,
No,
if you told me that it was if you told me it was the official Biden dragon, I wouldn't put it against you.
let's just say he's more uglier than the Grinch.
Yeah, but the Grinch
Like what?
still looks better than Biden.
Like what? A complete
Yeah,
shade.
if he had a haircut.
I mean, like what? A complete shade Grinch.
Nah. I mean, we all know Biden comes from Mars.
Nah. He's from a different
No,
world.
Yeah, you're
he
right.
comes from Uranus.
Yeah, you're right.
no.
He had to get his cold heart somewhere. He's from Neptune.
No, I was gonna say he's from Uranus.
That's why everyone says it's Uranus, just trying to find out who Biden is so that they can say, hey, it's Uranus. Finally. We found out the reason they called it that.
You know what?
Seriously, it's
They
such a
gave the
fucking
planet the
weird
name, so you know what? It doesn't need to be said practically as a joke every time. You know.
Well, they shouldn't have called it Uranus then. That means I have a point. That's usually what it means when you go quiet.
Oh, brother.
Wasn't its original name going to be like George or something like that.
Why, George? It's the planet.
Right, Georgie. Forget what that's from. Whatever. We're making me laugh. Or no, it's not Run, Georgie. It's Hiya, Georgie. And now my phone's freaking the fuck out. Awesome. Good. Great.
Ain't it just great? No.
No, it's not. Let the screen turn on. Can you turn that shit down?
Boy, are you close to getting pummeled for the last time of the 2024 year.
Give me the year 2024.
But yeah,
If you're gonna grammar election, be right.
I will.
But you didn't. But you did it just then, so there you go.
Well, take it up with the other me who knows grammar. Don't come at non-grammar knowing me, because I won't understand.
I didn't know there was a second you.
Yeah, grammar knowing and not grammar. Should have known this. You've lived with me for some time now.
I've only been alive for 20 years.
Yes, that's quite a long time.
Yeah, but the girls have been alive longer than me.
Just because I have underwear older than you doesn't mean it isn't a long time.
Oof.
Yeah, whatever, but you've still had no hair longer than me.
Well, he has longer hair in his nose than you. Or he probably had gross hairs in his ears.
He's just
Or he
reading
probably had.
That's bald-faced lies.
Or your dad has more hair in his butt than you have.
You want to throw going down 2025, you don't even know.
See, that was a pun and an insult.
I know. And I felt both.
Okay, how is that an insult? I didn't even get it.
Because my dad's bald.
You don't gotta tell the world. All right, the internet doesn't have to know about that I'm follically challenged.
Hey, you said it yourself, not me.
Do you know what? You know what else was bald? Your dad's butt.
I mean, you're right.
You know what
Actually, I don't know that.
Cody's hair.
And it's
cool. Well, being bald means he doesn't have hair, so.
Dude, you've seen my back.
You know.
I certainly have hair.
You know, baldness can actually be genetic. I see it.
I can see the dragon. I have two eyes that are blind, you know. It says Dragonarium. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Damn it.
That is actually how you pronounce it.
You got 6 master points. This is Beamy. He's a Moonlight Dragon. He's only level 1, though. I'll never get
he's one of my recent.
He's one of my recent.
He's one of my recent additions, and here's the Grave Lurker Dragon.
I actually don't hate that name. Rocco! Rocco's just a rock! If you know.
And look at that lantern. Look at that lantern.
God, no, that's the only thing they can think of right now. How's Rocco gonna eat that cookie, Zoe? Tell Elmo.
So, where's Roy?
Roy, he's probably at the gym. I don't know.
Wait, is it open at this time? That's weird.
Yes. Listen, it's New Year's Eve, and some people's resolution for New Year's is to get their body bulging with biceps. So there
Like
you go. No. I don't know what my resolution is. I don't really have one.
I know.
Maybe
I
not
know.
having a resolution. is a resolution.
Exactly.
Actually,
My resolution will not be not having a resolution.
Actually, I know one is to find a wife.
I can't find a wife until I find a girlfriend.
Skip that part and get married right away.
Ah, yes. Hi,
Okay.
girl I just met. Marry my ass.
Actually, you know, there is actually a
Sounds
TV
so
show.
romantic. I don't know why one would.
Okay. First of all, there is actually a TV show where you actually get married to someone you hadn't even met yet.
The Newlywed Game.
I don't know. At least from that show is
That
actually.
sounds good.
Game Guy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you a choice. Draylux Dragon, which is this white and yellow egg with a red ruby dot, or the Windlord Dragon. Which one should I hatch right now?
Do the Wind Lord.
And there he is, for the record.
Oh my god, it's Vegeta. Over 9,000!
My mom says Happy New Year, by the way, to you guys.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Well, it's New Year's Eve, but, whatever. Dragon Book. A book for all your dragoning needs.
Yeah, about 1,141 out of 2,050.
Jesus, you have a lot of dragons.
No kidding. What gave you that impression?
I don't know, honestly. It might have been all the dragons that are around, but that might have been a hunch. Like, it might have just been a gut feeling. I'm not too sure.
I mean, who knows? Maybe sometime next year, what the number from 2050 might even be, I don't know, maybe almost a double.
Okay.
Call it Angel Dragon. That's awesome. Add perks. Do it now. If you don't, we will judge you silently.
I'm gonna check out my honeybee dragon if I can find it.
Oh, bee! Yeah, I can't do it. It's like I can't do it as well. I know.
And there he
I
is, by the
tried.
way.
I love him.
That's so
What?
weird. I don't even like it. I don't even like it, but it's so funny. But I don't even like it. It's kind of weird.
What does he do? Does he breathe molten honey? Is that what's happening here? Is that what he does?
No, he's gonna
No.
pollinate your ass.
Pollinate your ass.
He ain't getting my beautiful hair.
Well, let's just say that flowers aren't the only things that can bloom.
Don't you even?
I will say what I want to, damn it.
You know what he can't bloom? Laura Steak is from his Bermuda Triangle home.
Yeah, because he just gets lost there.
Well, here's my other bee dragon. Buzz.
Did you really just name him Buzz?
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything else logical.
Oh, You know, you can have to name him Mr. Busser or Buzz Butler.
Oh, this one's a beauty.
Now that's
Ice
a
Snow Dragon.
that reminds me of
It's a wolf.
kind of reminds me of a snow leopard.
Mhm. Viper Plasma, doing pretty good. Yeah, you heard me say that right. A Viper Plasma. And have a look.
Hmm.
It's okay though.
I mean, he's pretty cool.
If you say so.
Hmm. What dragon particularly have I not shown you guys I got? Maybe this one?
Oh, that's a cute one.
Elven Spirit Dragon.
Oh, wait. You can name him Elvis. Elvis Jr.
The king will grow.
Elvis.
Hmm. Hmm. In particular, I have not shown you guys. I mean, I don't even think I showed you my ice track.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got one. I forgot. There it is.
What it got?
Maybe I'll go for a quick jaunt with you if you don't mind later.
Ignore that. Ignore him too, because he's nosy.
Oh. Who's nosy?
Also, what kind of a name is nosy for a dragon anyway?
One that has a really big nose.
But it didn't even have a nose. Breeding cave, finally. In the breeding tree, that too.
Hmm. Here's my winter star, and he actually looks like a little astronaut, if I am to be completely honest.
Or Mega Man.
His name's Rodney, also.
Yeah, they give him regular, ridiculous names. And I don't like that. Also, I am not keeping Nessie as the name. Also, I am not keeping Nessie as the name of this imp dragon.
Why not? It's kind of a cool name.
Mm. No, I didn't want to click you. I wanted to click. I wanted to click. Don't freeze on me. Come on. This one. Another edition I think I got not that long ago, my Preston Dragon.
I hate them kids.
But they want cars for some reason, even though they can't drive it.
I want a car and I want to fucking drive right over all of them. I just hate the voice sound.
You've lost your mind.
Oh, and check out these decorations I have yet to put down on my habitat.
Oh,
so I can
Cody
find the
Lane's
right
here.
ones. Yeah, take a look at these decorations and answer me this: does that honestly look like a black snowflake or a crystal ball snowflake? This right here.
It looks like a snowflake inside a crystal ball.
I mean, we even got an extractor insignia, cyber vault guard, and a spirit's emblem, and a Hollow's pumpkin. Maybe right back. Don't worry, I will be right back.
Extending those tax cuts that have benefited the American economy and families, and that's what it's all about. Just getting to work.
Hi, Cody.
To that point, how would it look then for the American people if the House could not get the House Speaker on Friday?
I think it would be very disappointing. We've been through it before. When we went through the 15 rounds with Speaker McCarthy, it didn't do us any good. It certainly brought Congress to a standstill. And in this case, we don't want to see that happen again.
So how are you, Swedish?
Not bad actually. It's been bored. Usually is.
Ideas and solutions and trying to incorporate on how we do this. This is Speaker candidate for the Democratic president. The Democratic Senate controls 1/3 of the Congress of the federal government. And so things were obviously much more challenging. But now that we have Republicans backed up, we need to be united and we can get so much accomplished. We just stick together. I think that's what the American people want. The government is functioning, that does its job.
Okay, Mark had left. Okay. On the
He did say he'd be right back.
He might. The first day of February, hosting another Beyblade event. But that's cool.
There has to be some give and take. Government is about giving and taking. It's negotiation.
Ways and Means Committee right now, the chairman, Jason Smith, the Senate GOP plans to wait on tax cuts at the border first. It's calling it reckless waiting.
Yeah, I think we need to try to do everything in one reconciliation. You have border states that obviously care about the border. I think the majority of Americans do. It's impacting states all over the country. You have producing states that want to see us ramp up domestic production. It will help lower prices, not just for energy, but for moving goods across the country.
I'm not gonna press that.
New York that care about salt deduction, providing some type of salt relief for constituents. And the people always needs to be, which I remember, I can tell you that tax cuts has to be part of that negotiation. Why? Because if we leave it to the end of the year, we fall off the table. We need to work it in with everything else that's currently there, because these tax cuts expire at the end of the year. What will happen? You would see individual tax rate across the board go up roughly 3 to 5% per bracket. Corporate tax rate that has been so beneficial to stimulate this economy and create jobs.
I'm actually going.
Okay, then it went. Oh man. So I've been doing okay. Well, I have no work for a while. Not until like early January, luckily for me. Well. Okay, all those stores being checked. They were not to be made. I actually there is actually one nation in the world that's the very first for the New Year's. It's a small island nation, if I remember. And that is Kiribati in the Pacific Ocean. Well, we can only hope that 2025 is going to be better for anything. Especially about around January 20th, where Trump's going to be swearing the oath and be the next president. So we will happen to see what's going to happen in the next 4 years from now. What's going to be next 4 years for the US and all that. He actually, the only thing I know of, he is planning to putting a moral order that anyone that's going to if you're buying things like from China or anything like overseas and happen transporting, if I understand, it's going to be a lot more taxes in that. Anything that's been imported is going to be add some more increased taxes to it, included anything that you're buying from Canada. So yeah. And that will also very much impact Sweden, because especially for me, if I'm sending stuff to my girlfriend in the US, boy, it's just yeah. Let's see, that's gonna be. Oh man, that's just great. Because I think it was about 2 years ago. I actually no, actually, she has sent me a package, but we later find out it was still stuck in custom after we find out that my dad had to be paying taxes, or at least some sort of not taxes, but more uh, like a fee, custom fee for it. That would be like that would about oh no, it was just about around 500 or $50 for it. Yeah, we weren't even aware that it turned out they actually changed the law or the rules, and we weren't even aware of that because ever since I started dating, if I got this back in 2018, there was no problem, like no problem at all. But then I think it was about like 2 or 3 years ago where that happened. It's just only we became aware. So my dad looked more into that. It turned out if you put more weight in a box or a package, that would increase more paying for it. So my dad every time, um, at least the only time we don't send anything for her is for Christmas. Since my dad buys things for her, at least order things for her for me to have to her from Amazon. So the package is bought and delivered inside within the US, not being transported from my country over to US. So at least that's a good thing. But there were at one point she actually thought of stop paying sending package due to the fact of the cost and all that. And get this, um, I think it was like she told me something that happened literally in her neighborhood in a cul-de-sac where she lives. About 2 days ago, the cul-de-sac was basically blocked by the police and the ambulance. I was like, what? Did something happen? Well, it turned out from on the across the street there were an older man. I don't know exactly how old. If I can maybe remember, I think it was like between 40s and 60s. I don't really remember exactly precise age. Um, what he told me, he was getting his mail, and that's it happened. He had a heart attack, fell in a ditch, and died. So that happened. It's it's terrible. It's pretty terrible when that happened. I was I was shocked. Oh, yeah. So but yeah, and Malachite is back.
Fuck you, StreamYard!
Yep, pretty much. And for 2025, well, Cody, yeah, they kicked you out on the first time that happened, more or less.
I come back to find myself on my StreamYard homepage. Even though I don't click it.
Oh, man, a terrible hiccup. Oh, by the way, I know for a fact that the game guy knows of this, but I know of you too. How to Train Dragon? It's gonna have a live action version.
Let's hope it's a better one.
Uh, I actually saw the trailer of that. At first, when I saw at least the thumbnail on YouTube, I was like, okay, that might be since I have seen a lot of thumbnails of supposed movies that were turned out to be fan made trailers. So I was like, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if this actually is another fan made. But truth wise, in the movie or this trailer, actually looks like very much it is as it was taken from the CGI version movie. So I'm actually impressed with he looks very much the same as the original. And as for Hiccup, well, it do look like it's similar to as the original, very close to that. So I give him that. But then
Hmm.
I wonder, what about like Astrid, his future wife? If she will look like the same, or about his friend. I don't know how his name is. I don't remember exactly his name, but the one that the shopping one that's like the who has the book with all the books of dragons. That one. I wonder if how he would be like in a new movie though. And I can't say right now, but who knows? I mean, who knows if this turned out to be a very have a success by the viewers and have positive critics, comments, all that. Who knows if they decide to make another one of the movie franchise, like the rest of the movies. And they even made a spin-off series that is set in the modern time, where turned out the one of the male characters was actually direct descendant of Hiccup. And he actually even ran into and he actually turned meets Toothless and Light Fury descendants. I was like, what? But then in the last episode, I remember the dragons they went back to their sanctuary or hidden world, and they didn't even want to allow their human friends to ride them anymore or something. But there were actually one dragon in that series, or towards the end of it, that was the biggest and also the main villain. It had a different few names, but one of them is more common known as Midgard Serpent. It was a reference to like the one from the Norse mythology. I never saw much of that entire series, but I know for a fact it's also CGI. And I don't know how many of you know or have seen much of Miraculous Ladybug. I can say one thing. They actually made a movie based on the show, but it was not even remotely close to what happened in the original series at all. I was like, yeah, it's really surprising how that happened. And I wonder if the series is even still running though. There is actually one, might be non-canon character series or movie. Who knows? Oh, I said this earlier in the beginning of the stream. You guys know of the fact of the Mufasa movie, right? The new one they made.
Hmm.
It turns out that Mufasa and Scar, aka Taka, which is the actual birth name, aren't even blood related. Mufasa's actually his stepbrother or his adoptive brother, and and that Scar, he actually got this scar on his face after he betrayed Mufasa in the movie, and that Mufasa gave him the name Scar due to the fact that the Scar ended up his betrayal. And there are in fact even some lions in the movie that are white. I don't know if they're like albino lions or anything. I don't know, and I'm not even going to watch the movie though. I haven't even seen the first Lion King live action, but but as you guys remember, also may even be aware of Lion Guard, right? Have you guys ever seen anything about it?
Mm.
Here's the
Heard
thing.
of it, but never seen it.
Okay, but here's the thing. In the Line Guard, they actually saying that Scar, who has the second oldest, as a tradition, the second oldest son or daughter will be the new leader of the Line Guard, which is Scar War. And here's the thing: in the Line Guard, Scar got his scar from a snake that was accompanied as a companion to another lion. But in the new version, the new movie, that didn't even happen. Another thing is, after the first movie of the Lion Guard was released back in the 90s, and even before the sequel, there were comics, books about the Lion Guard that continue the series of all that, including new characters. Included Simba's great 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 grandfather, and also one particular character, his very
Oh.
the very first character or the very first king in the royal family. And the fact is, that is what happened in that part. Then you had sequels. You had the Lion Guard, the Lion King 2, when Kiara is born, when Kubo was introduced. Originally, Kubo was supposed to be the son of Scar and Sira. And as we know, Kiara is the son of Simba. And if that would have been the case, it wouldn't even make that would have been a terrible idea. Because since the first and the second movie, as adults, Simba that were making Scar and Mufasa blood related brothers. So if Kubo would have been Scar's son, Kiara is Simba's daughter, that makes them cousins. And you know what I'm getting for? It's a sense the movies are focused on young kids as an audience. And having that introduced that when they realized that Simba's daughter is Kubo's cousin, and they actually end up being the next future king and queen, yeah, they would have been giving much mixed signals and wrong ideas to the audience, you know. So yeah, that was also never happened. And now that we have the newest live action of Mufasa, gives us a whole different question to have. Is the thing the fact that, like I said, what happened to Scar in the Lion King, how he got the scar was from the snake, but in the new version of the live action one they made, it's not even that at all. It was completely different. So the question is, which one is the true canon? Hmm? Think about that for a moment. Because that's the thing. That's the thing. Because in the snake, I mean, if the Lion Guard is one side of how the thing happened, and then we had the Mufasa movie, the prequel slash sequel.
Mm.
So the main question is then, which one is the canon? As Cody says, it's the one about the Lion Guard. So I think it's more likely that that's the case. Because,
Mm-hmm.
so why would they make one? Okay, first, the Lion Guard came out a few years before any of the first two live action of the Lion King. Sure. But the thing is, otherwise, if they decided to if they considered the new Lion Guard as canon, what about the Lion Guard? So everything in the Lion Guard series, from the very start to the end, when Kion and Rani end up marrying. when he Kion end up being part of the Night Pride. So here's the thing: if the Line Guard, when the snake bite, is considered non-canon, what more of things from the original series is canon or non-canon? I mean, many fact that many books or comics usually don't count as canon. I can give you an example. In My Little Pony, like when we saw Scootaloo's aunts, and there's another thing. They actually made mention of they actually had a reference or even appearance in a comic. But that was like a couple of months or maybe a year before they actually made appearance. And the thing is, they didn't even their designs from the comic and the show they didn't match up at all. Their designs didn't even match at all. So how much more of the comic and books from the Lion King is considered as canon? Sometimes books and comics can't be considered
Well,
as canon, depending on
wouldn't
what
that
is.
wouldn't that particularly relate to how long each of the franchises have been shown to audiences over the years?
Well, true, but like I mentioned, what the My Little Pony series, like for example, Scootaloo's aunts when they appeared in the show, and when they made appearance in the comic when they were about the Girl Scouts, I can say right now the names matched, but the designs, colors of the mane, the coat, not at all. Not that didn't match at all. So, like I said, how much of the comics and books from the Lion King is then considered as canon? There is only one of the here's one of the Lion King franchise of the spin-offs, Timon and Pumbaa. Their own show, I may have to say, is not canon. Even though the fact that Simba, Suzu, Rafiki, and a few others do in fact appearing, but here's the one small detail. In so many episodes, they actually end up having travel to the human world. Like in the modern cities but there's the thing. They never seen anything like that in the original series or the original movies or a Lion Guard. No mention of anything like that. So so to me, Timon and Pumbaa series are not even considered as canon. But Lion Guard, I do consider as canon because it has a lot more ties based on the fact from the movies. But there is one son, Koba, that was supposed to be the son of Nala and Simba. Like he was even made before Kion was even made as a character. But they decided to change that to non-canon and also make later Kion as the newest son.
Mm.
So how much of the the Lion King franchise from the books and comics that would consider as canon? I understand that many fans out there that still loyal to very old color classic Lion King and some others may understand. Like how much is for the being considered as canon or maybe just on the edge to consider as canon or even be non-canon. I can give you another example. Here's the one. Kim Possible. There's one crossover when they actually went to Hawaii when they meet Lilo and Stitch. And that's a
Oh
crossover.
yeah,
But
I may
here's the
not.
point. Yeah, what?
I may not have been a big Kim Possible fan, but I did see the crossover with Stitch.
Yeah. So here's the dilemma. Is that canon or non-canon? Because even when I haven't remembered much of the series, but when they talking about aliens is that they don't believe that aliens exist. Plot twist. In the final episode of the Kim Possible, those aliens, or at least the alien warrior that somehow draw attention from Dr. Dragon's rap music video, were an alien. Was in fact an alien. So why wouldn't the alien the crossover when Stitch also considers canon or not canon? That's the question. There are sometimes crossovers that may not even consider canon or like that. It's sometimes it's a very fine line how to cross, you know? Like in Lion King, like the very first king in the royal family were not even mentioned in one of the, I think it was one of those comics. And then was later, um, well, some other his great 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 grandfather and some other things happened when Koba was introduced and later was replaced with Kion and so yeah, it's so there are always some things where like when it comes to comics or books, like like in Harry Potter. Okay, I know for a fact none of you some of you may have even read or even seen the movies, but there is that book that's called The Fantastic Wondrous Beast. It literally were in fact they made another a spin-off based on from those books. They are in fact even set place way before Harry Potter movie was even made. I mean, before he was born. Those books contained information of different characters or different creatures, monsters from that particular world. So, here's the thing. How much of books, comics, is sometimes considered as canon when it comes to different size or things like that, franchises? So, and also another thing is, like okay, as for next year, as you know, Snow White is going to be released. And as soon as that trailer showing us how the dwarf looks like and new characters, new events, Snow White looks similar to the one from the original. The cottage, at least from the outside, looks almost better as the original, which I don't mind.
And
But
here's the thing, too. In my eyes, particularly, two of the dwarfs look similar to the original, and that it is Grumpy and Dopey.
Mm-hmm.
Because Grumpy does wear red clothing and has that beard.
Yeah, but here's another thing. Well, they also, when they introduced Snow White's father, the king, I don't think that is a bad idea. Even though he was never mentioned in the original, and the mother, the queen, the former queen, was never mentioned in the original movie, except from a deleted scene where she's sitting by a window in the winter. She was working on some brodering, or she was making something but sitting in the window when she, by accident, poked the needle in her finger, which drips blood in the snow as a reference of Snow White's white skin, the red lips, and the ebony black hair. That's just like a reference. But that's not what I'm trying to think of the thing here. As in the new version, is that the only thing is months ago, before even the first trailer was even made, the word is a reference to, or at least when I looked at Wikipedia, they only said a few characters by name, like Grumpy, Snow White, and two other characters, which I don't even remember. One was Jonathan.
What actually led up to that process?
And Jonathan, well, I wondered if that could be the prince. But the thing is, the prince in the original movie, he was never mentioned as by first name. But it's some sources
True.
saying that. But
Well,
some sources. But
we don't
some
know. Maybe
sources-
his first name was literally the. Just
Well,
the
that would be
prince.
weird. Well, but some sources saying that his name is Florian. So if they decide to make the prince named Jonathan,
Mm.
because in the trailer, Snow White is helping, or at least gives a young man or just a young boy, probably around the same age as her, some bread. So I'm assuming that might be Jonathan. But here's another plot twist. There is a name. There were one name of one character which didn't make no sense. Maple. Like literally Maple. And I know for a fact it's not one of the dwarves. But there is
If
only
Maple wasn't
one.
a dwarf, I bet she'd fall for Dopey.
As Genga said, if Doopy talks, that ruins the whole franchise. Oh shit, Sherlock. That would definitely do that. But that doesn't.
Just
Exactly,
so you
because he
guys
never
know,
talks.
Yeah. But the
No,
only
he
thing
just
that was.
goes and he whistles.
Yeah. And the only other thing that I saw in a trailer is that, as you remember, the dwarves in the original telling Snow White always to be cautious and on high alert for the queen to try to find her and never leave. But in the new version, she makes complete opposite. In fact, she leaves the cottage and went back in town. Right, she's riding back in town, trying to get the people to rise up against the queen to restore the harmony and peace in the town and the kingdom. That never happened in the original. Another thing,
No.
and here's another thing that also is mentioned in the trailer, that when Snow White is sitting in the woods, in the forest, all among the animals, she's making a reference saying that her parents used to say that the forest was magical. So that's a direct mention. Both her mother and her father as mentioning it. And that and other things that never happened. I mean, there is so many things about this whole thing that makes no sense at all. And there are many other things that also should be mentioned. Um, I did mention some movies that's gonna be released sometime next year. Let's go see here. There was one. Let's go see. Day at the day the Earth blew up. Looney Tunes. Snow White. Okay, there's one movie named Ash. It has nothing. It's not reference to Pokemon, as some probably wonder. The Minecraft movie is gonna be released. There's Final Destination Bloodlines. I know didn't want to see that one. Let's go see. Okay, have any of you? Yeah, The Bad Guys 2 is gonna also be released. That's true. Have you guys seen 28 Days or 28 Weeks Later, a British zombie movie? Because it turns out there's going to be another one also being released next year called 28 Years Later.
Oh,
I've seen the two
Lord.
first. I've seen the both first ones. And the thing is, after the first one was released in 2002, and the second one was 2007. After the sequel was released, there were talks about the third one, but that didn't even happen almost like 10 years later. Let's see here. Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be also next year. the Smurfs movie gonna be released. What else? Saw 21. So,
Does
Saw.
one of the Smurfs
Oh,
look? Does one of the Smurfs look like Cody?
maybe. But like I said, also Saw, based on all those horror slasher movies, is having its 21st movie being released next year. And believe me, it's not a friendly movie. Tron Ares, Mortal Kombat 2 gonna be released next year. Predator Badlands. I hadn't even seen much of those recent Predator movies, not even going to. Zootopia 2 is gonna be released. Five Nights at Freddy 2, the second one. Avatar Fire and Ash. I don't know if you guys have seen those movies where they travel to that Pandora. I have both actually. SpongeBob movie Surf for SquarePants is gonna be next year. That's surprising.
Yay! We
But
get to see the real Kovu in action.
In 2020, and in 2026, there's gonna be an Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. And
Hi,
it's not a
Oxygen. How are
CGI.
you doing today?
And this Avatar movie is not CGI or live action. It's gonna be very much similar to like the original series, but it's only set to take place sometimes after the original series. The characters are in their early to mid 20s. I presume that it may be that Aang's and Katara's daughter and son Bumi and Kaya might even be born at this time. Who knows? Perhaps even, presumably even, perhaps even Tenzin is born. Okay, Scream 7 is gonna also be in that. Okay, Malakat, Cody, are you familiar with the movie franchise The Exorcist?
I've heard of the first movie, but I never watched any of the movies.
This is actually going to be a reboot of that series, 2026.
Boo!
Yeah, same. I haven't seen any of those. There, but this also is going to be Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, The Mummy.
Yeah.
The Mummy is also having another movie in the. It's not Mummy 2 or 3. It just says The Mummy. And Mandalorian Grogu.
Let's just hope there's not a lot of scarab beetles.
Masters of the Universe, as a reference to He-Man, is going to be released that particular year. Toy Story 5. Okay, this actually, and Superman 2025 also is going to be released. But Toy Story 5 is a they actually have even made a statement what it's going to be about. Kids in that movie are more focused on iPads and on other electronics, not the toys. Let's find out what it's about. Shrek 5 is said to be released in 2026. And here's the thing.
Lovely.
But here's the thing. This I actually read about this movie about a few years ago. And it said that the movie was supposed to take place before he met Donkey and Fiona. It was when Shrek moved to the swamp. But now it turns out that is not happening. It turns out he actually had this. It turns out all those characters in the same movie. And Moana, the live action, is also being said to be released 2026. What else? Another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a sequel. It's gonna be released that year. Ooh, Giovanni, that game they travel into. Also, with I can say, Dwayne Johnson and Jack Black is gonna be in that movie. Ice Age 6 is gonna be released next 2026. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see more of the shenanigans with Sid the Slot. Movies for 2027. Minions Free is going to be released in June 30th, 2027.
Yes.
Batman 2, Frozen 3, and also a Star Wars movie is going to be released in 2027. Actually,
What I want to
according
see,
to this,
what I want to see is a movie that based around the creation of C-3PO and R2-D2.
Cody, according to this, what I see, Kung Fu Panda is not even on the list at all. And the last one on the list is for 2028. And there aren't that many movies that are on that one. There's only one, two, three movies that is Marvel. In fact, I don't even think that they even have made any official making of Kung Fu Panda 5. I don't even know for a fact. Let me see here. Kung Fu Panda 4. Let's see. Here we go. If it says the sequel is in development, up there. Let's see. Okay, here's it here. Mitchell suggests that a fifth movie could happen, but would likely not be until 2027. So even though the director said that it might even be as early as 2027, it's not like confirmed, like officially it's gonna be made in 2027. Might even be as 2028 or even 2030, because it's not like an official yet. I hadn't even seen Kung Fu Panda 4, and I might not even do that at all. Since the last one I saw about when the Spirit Kai returned, I think that was when that one is. I didn't even see much of that in the movie either. Honestly, I think Kung Fu Panda series pretty much lost its after Kung Fu Panda 2. So 3 and 4 movie might not, in my opinion, it might just be less considerable part of the movie franchise. And I don't, and also this Kung Fu Panda series 2 series where he meets up with a bear, the British bear. Yeah, I hadn't even seen that either, and not going to.
I figured maybe to finish this up, Smash, I just bought this island right here on the screen. The 4 yellow orbs, right here, in the corners, can be used for summoning hour. There's a yellow egg right here, which has a dragon in it. There's also tokens, which are these 2 crates here. Food, which are the 4 other 4 crates, and a rainbow isle habitat right here.
Hmm.
So, let's see what we got. Time. 1 million. 1 million. 1 million. 1 million food. Tokens. 1,000 rainbow Bo?
Wilson, and you got Jennifer Rubin and Donna.
Another 1,000 rainbow tokens.
You're going to the little birds that are just feeding off the Rhinox for circle like it's eating bugs. That's the you know, Trump has created entirely
15
they're going to
of that one.
other people that's been running.
Alright.
Another 15.
10.
But it's amazing. Like, they are not able to pick up on Trump. So, yeah, these landslide is a total shift in the universe.
Well, I think one of the reasons I think that Donald Trump actually won is because he used the media effectively. He went on the podcast.
A high comet dragon, which I already have.
They continue to stick with that mainstream media.
Oh, I got it.
And they're going to continue.
You know, I think it's about time to end the stream here, anyways.
Uneducated, not understanding how to read.
Okay.
Well, everyone, that's been fun. So next stream might be, well, probably next week. And hopefully, maybe occasional stream. Who knows? So, but yeah, until next time, people. Happy New Year's, and well, let's see what you guys have for resolutions for this next year. I have, I think a few. If I can keep them. Anyways, Happy New
And
Year's, everyone.
And if you see Cody and Koval, make a wish.
In 2025.
Yeah,
and
pretty
also-
much.
Happy New Year. Goodbye.
Happy
See ya.
New Year.